Welcome! In this explainer, with a ton of great insights prepared by Swiss Career Coach, we're going to tackle the CV. We all tend to think of it as just a boring list of our past jobs, but it's so much more than that. Think of it like this. It's the very first chapter of your professional story, and it's the chapter that decides if a recruiter even bothers to read the rest of the book.
And get this, you don't have long to make that first impression. Career research shows again and again you have about 8 seconds. 8 seconds! That's it. That's all the time you have to stand out from a stack of potentially hundreds of other applicants.
And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? When your career hasn't been a perfect straight line, how on earth do you explain that? How do you make it sound like a compelling journey instead of just a confusing mess? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. So here's our game plan. We've got a really clear roadmap. We're going to start with the foundation, the format. Then we'll talk about translating your skills, adapting to new places, how to focus your message, and finally, we'll wrap up by talking about what your CV is really for.
Okay, first up, the architecture of your story, the format itself. Especially if you've got some gaps in your career or maybe you don't have a ton of direct experience, picking the right structure can be an absolute game changer.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got your standard chronological CV. That 2-year gap, yeah, it's pretty much screaming at you from the page. But then look at the right. A functional CV completely flips the script. It puts the spotlight right on what you can do, your skills, your abilities, not just when you did it.
So how do you choose? Well, it really comes down to a simple, honest look at your own history. The source materials lay it out for us. If you've got some big gaps or you're making a major career pivot, a functional or maybe a combined CV lets you lead with your strengths. It helps you reframe those gaps as, productive times where you were learning, volunteering, or building new skills. All right, let's build on that. This next part is huge for anyone switching careers. If you're changing industries, your CV is not about listing your old job duties. It's about translating your value into a completely new language. I absolutely love this analogy from the source material because it is just so perfect. Your core abilities, things like managing projects, analyzing data, communicating with people, those are your flour, butter, and eggs. They're super versatile. Your job is just to show the new employer that you can use those exact same ingredients to bake the cookies they're looking for, not the pancakes you used to make.
And these are the key ingredients we're talking about, transferable skills. Honestly, these are your secret weapon when you're changing careers. They are the bridge that connects where you've been to where you want to go.
And this is such a critical part of that translation. Don't just copy and paste your old job title, especially if it's packed with jargon from your last industry. You've got to reframe it. A lead editor in publishing has a ton of the same skills as a content strategy manager in the tech world. Your job is to connect those dots so the recruiter doesn't have to.
Okay, so what if you're not just changing industries, but you're changing countries? For anyone looking to relocate, your CV needs a cultural translation too. It's a whole different ballgame.
The main point here is that one size absolutely does not fit all. You have to do your homework, research the local standards. We'll even understand your job title there. Giving context, like saying your old company was a top 5 firm, helps a foreign recruiter really understand the scale of your experience. And this is critical, always. Always be upfront about your work authorization status.
All right, let's talk about one of the trickiest situations out there. What do you do if you're an expert in 2 totally different fields? It sounds like a huge strength, right? But to a busy recruiter, it can just be confusing. So imagine you see a profile summary like this one. 10 years in marketing strategy, but also a certified HR professional. That's impressive, no doubt about it. But it immediately plants a question in the recruiter's mind. And that one question, what do you really want to do, is a huge red flag for them. If they can't figure out your focus in those first few seconds, they're probably just going to move on to the next candidate, the one whose career path seems a lot clearer and more deliberate. The solution, based on the coaching materials, is called the Choose One principle. It's simple. For the specific job you're applying for, you pick one narrative. Are you a marketer? Great. Lead with that. Your HR certification isn't a distraction, it's the cherry on the cake. It's that unique bonus that shows you understand people and company culture better than all the other marketers. So when we bring all of these strategies together, it leads to this really fundamental shift in how we think. It's time to stop seeing your CV as just some historical document and start seeing it for what it truly is. It's a proposal for your future value. So let's just recap the big takeaways here. You've only got a few seconds, so you have to make them count. Pick a format that tells your absolute best story. Translate your skills for the person you want to hire you. Adapt your story for new places. And most importantly, focus your expertise to show that you have clear intentions. Your CV is a strategic marketing document, not an autobiography.
I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. After those 8 seconds are up, what is the single most powerful message you want stuck in that recruiter's head? Your entire CV should be built to answer that one question. Because a really powerful CV turns complexity into clarity. It tells a recruiter not just what you've done, but what you can achieve for them. For more resources and coaching materials, please visit swisscareer.coach.